So the CBD supplement I was taking is from Pua Olona, which is a local company here in Hawaii. I don't know the owner personally myself, but I do know people who do know him. So I have it on good authority that this is the good, high quality shit, not the kind of random stuff you might buy from some gas station or something like that. I also really liked how it was delivered. So it's in one of these dropper things. You just put it like right underneath your tongue. It tasted really good too, which was a awesome bonus. And I think the delivery method, I really like the delivery method versus like a few times I've had friends who had like the gummy bear version of the sleep supplement aid ones. So I've taken those here and there. Couldn't tell anything off of that. With this one, it did seem to work. So I'll go over what I felt like the felt sensations of it were before we get into the actual number findings here. So it did seem to help me fall asleep better, taking it. Remember, like the first time I took it, I didn't want to go to sleep immediately. I wanted to kind of stay awake and see if I felt it, coming on. And it did seem to have a feeling to it. I took it. I was like, oh man, 15, 20 minutes after taking it, I was like, hey, I feel like I'm ready for bed. And then I went off to sleep. I do think that like the delivery method of it there though, helped in that sense where, I would come up to the room, whatever, half hour before I felt like going to sleep, drop it under my tongue, enjoy the flavor, keep it in there for a long time, switch it around back and forth, then go brush my teeth basically and hit the bed within half an hour after taking it. Also, basically the whole month that I was using this, I was getting fantastic sleep, averaging like 7.5 to like 9.5 hours a night. So I was getting wonderful sleep there. Only drank, I think, like maybe once or twice during the whole month. Definitely no smoking weed or anything like that. And so I felt like it gave me a good solid grounds to pull all the data that I wanted to pull from it, seeing how it helped me fall asleep and affected my dreams. So like the ritual of it, of, coming up, I keep it in the office, dropping it under my tongue. I think that actually plays a pretty big role because it had a ritual that I would follow, right before going to bed. So it was kind of like telling my body, hey, once I drop this shit, it's time for bed. So that I think helped it. It did seem to give me good sleep quality. However, kind of linked to that is my dream recall seemed to take a hit, where typically for like my whole life, I felt like I dream kind of a lot in the early stages of sleep, like more than what a lot of the studies out there would typically say you're supposed to. Like if you do the practice a lot, you get a pretty good gauge of how long you've actually been in it. Like when you're lucid in a dream, I can almost always give a pretty solid guesstimate to how long I've been in the dream. And I can proof check that by, say I wake up out of the dream, check the clock, go back to sleep, continue to dream, I'm lucid in it, wake up like a little while later, felt like 10 minutes, check the clock, and it's actually been just about 10 minutes. So the felt sensations, generally speaking, are pretty accurate. So I was surprised to find that, I was dreaming a lot like in the later parts of the night, but it seemed like in the first, few sleep cycles, so the first like 3 hours or so, I would barely remember any dreams, or if I did, they seemed really short. So I was theorizing that it probably gave me like more of this deep stage 3-4 stuff, which they used to call like dreamless sleep. Not the case anymore, but in the first 2 cycles, which is where it normally takes place. It did kind of get me thinking though, since my sleep quality generally is pretty good overall, if it was affecting, now I wish I had on like one of those sleep tracker watches so I could actually really tell if it gave me more deep sleep than I would normally be getting. But if that's not what my body would be naturally wanting to do, I'm not sure if I would have necessarily needed that extra deep sleep if my fucking theory and hypothesis is even right here. Because like I said, I wasn't actually tracking it. And then kind of oddly too, even though I felt like for the most part I was getting higher quality sleep than what I would normally get, I did oftentimes wake up feeling a bit more tired, but like tired in a way where I didn't want to get out of bed. When normally when I wake up in the morning, I spring up pretty quick and I'm fast to, whatever, wake up, start doing whatever I need to do, get my kids ready for school or what have you. But for this, when I was taking this, a lot of the time it did seem that I was kind of like, I don't really want to get in bed. I'm so comfortable. However, once I did hop out of bed and get past that little mental hurdle, then within 5 minutes, I was cranking as I normally would. So that's the felt sensations, and now we'll hop into like the actual numbers here next.